Hello student, welcome to the digital signal processing. This time we are discussing inverse Z transform by using partial fraction method. Let's see the numerical for the same. The problem statement carries determine the causal signal, that is x of n, having Z transform x of z is equal to 1 upon 2z inverse into 1 minus z inverse square. To solve such kind of actually the expressions using the partial fraction, it does carry some steps. By using the steps of the partial fraction, it is quite obvious that we need to concentrate for what exactly the power of which is at the numerator. So right now at the numerator, if we consider it is 1, so it is at z raised to 0. So 0 is nothing but the power which is at the numerator. Similarly, at the denominator, if we concentrate, it will be 3. Because this is z raised to minus 1. By solving it, it will be nothing but the z, and this will be z square because of this square term. Now once we got it like this, means it is overall z cube, so it is satisfying the condition of partial fraction. So when it satisfies this condition that the numerator exponent term is less than the denominator exponent term, then we need to first of all express this x of z into the format of x of z by z. In order to represent it in that particular format, let's see kind of modification we need to do. So for this, we need to do the modification in a simple way. X of z will be equal to 1 upon 1 minus 2z inverse into 1 minus z raised to minus 1 square. So by solving it, it is quite clear that the denominator will be in terms of the z cube, means the maximum degree will be 2. So here what we are going to do, we will multiply numerator as well as the denominator by z cube. That is what done over here. So when we multiply it by this z cube, we will get it like z cube at the numerator, because 1 into z cube, that will do the same is done over here. Similarly, at the denominator, once we multiply it with the z cube, what exactly it will do? It will be nothing but z minus 2. It is z minus 2 into z minus 1 bracket square. So overall it is nothing but z cube itself. So when we solve this, we will be able to simplify it in terms of the x of z by z. So this is what it will do. So for x of z by z, this particular value will be represented like z square by z minus 2 into z minus 1 square. It will be nothing but, let's say, the equation number 1. So this is purposeful arrangement, because at last you will get to know why to go for this kind of arrangement, because this will give us slight favor, adjust the terms in terms of either u of n or u of minus n minus 1. So let's solve it with the help of the partial fraction. Now it is with the appropriate format which we intended for. This is the special case where you can find out that it is the repeated pole. Is here if someone want to go for, let's say, finding the poles and zeros, for this case it will be two zeros at center or at the origin, and here one pole is at z equal to 2, equating the denominator to 0. Second pole will be at z equal to 1, and third pole is again at z equal to 1. It is the repeated pole case. So for the repeated pole case, let's proceed, apply the partial fraction. So by the application of the partial fraction, x of z by z will be a by z minus 2 plus b by z minus 1 plus c by z minus 1 square. So in order to obtain, let's say, the a, so it can be simply obtained by multiplying this z minus 2 other side. So it will be z minus 2 into x of z by z. So overall it will become like this at z equal to 2. So after simplifying it further, we will be able to solve it like this. Let me just correct it further. Okay, now this is how the value of a can be calculated. So by putting the value of x of z by z, which is nothing but this particular value, that is z square divided by z minus 2 into z minus 1 square. So this z minus 2 and z minus 2, these two will be cancelled. Whatever the term remains, just put the z equal to 2, that particular term. You will get it like 2 square, that is 4, and this one is nothing but 2 minus 1 bracket square, that is 1. So this will give overall the value of a, that is equal to 4. So once we got a equal to 4, now the next job is to get value of, let's say, the c. So c is quite simply simple one to get over here. That's why purposefully the c is calculated firstly, and then we can calculate the b. Okay, let me just specify it. Okay, this is how the c can be calculated. To calculate the c, we'll go for this kind of expression. So c is actually z minus 1 square into x of z by z at z equal to 1. So this by putting the value of x of z by z, that is z square by z minus 2 into z minus 1 square, will be able to cancel out the terms, that is z minus 1 square. This 2 will be cancelled out. So at z equal to 1, this rest of the things will become like it is 1 square for this value. So it will be 1 square divided by 1 minus 2, that is minus 1. So 1 upon 1 minus 1, it will be nothing but minus 1, and it is the value for c. Now get further the value of b. Calculate the value of b. Since it is the repeated pole case, so for the repeated pole case we need to go for this kind of statement, that is d by dz of z minus 1 square by into x of z by z. So already we got it like z square divided by z minus 2. So this entire term is actually nothing but, let me just highlight, this is nothing but z square by z minus 2 after cancellation of z minus 1 square. So that is what we can further simplify it. Let me just show here how to simplify it for b. So once we got it, so for b, okay, let me just write it. This is for b only we are doing. So d by dz of z minus 1 square, this will be cancelled. Solving it for this differentiation, it will be u by v rule. So v, that is z minus 2 into 2z, that is the derivative of z square, that is 2z minus z square, and derivative of z minus 2 is 1, and divided by z minus 2 square. So after this, just put the value of z equal to 1, the entire equation which we got. So once we put the z equal to 1, we'll get it like this. So here 1 minus 2, that is minus 1. This is nothing but 2 into 1, that is what, 2. This is nothing but 1 square, so it will be 1. And at the denominator it is 1 minus 2 bracket square, so minus 1 square, so it will be 1. So overall it will be minus 2 minus 1, so that is nothing but minus 3. So this is the value for b. Remember, this is the value for b. Now this is how we, once we got a, b, c, the equation 1 can be written as x of z by z, that will be nothing but equal to 4 by z minus 2. So this 4 is nothing but the value of a, this is nothing but actually the value of b, this is nothing but the value of c. Just put the respective values. Now just concentrate over here for getting inverse z transform. If you are able to get it, you will find that we are usually using the identity, that is a raised to n u of n. It will have the z transform, that is nothing but z by z minus a, or someone may write it like 1 upon 1 minus az inverse. So this is for causal case. Now Since in the problem statement also it is mentioned that we need to go for only the causal case, that's why we need to stuck up with a u of n term. This is same as that of the equation that if you know z by z minus a, you will be able to find out inverse z transform for it if it is causal. So the same thing is done over here. 4 is taken outside, so there is a readjustment of the term that z is taken to the other side, so this z will be taken to the right side. So x of z will become 4 into z by z minus 2. So everywhere you will find that z is simply at the numerator because it is simply taken to the right side. This adjustment is simply to match up the statement which already we studied for causal as well as for the anti-causal, because we do have the availability of this property itself, so we need not have to work it separately. So once this is done, so once this particular arrangement is done, so here we are just applying the inverse z transform. So let me just solve it. If I want to find out, let's say, the inverse z transform for this term z by z minus 2, after comparing it with this particular property, it is quite clear that a is nothing but 2 here, so this is nothing but a. So what is its inverse z transform? So a raised to n, so it will become 2 raised to n. So since it is causal, so obviously I need to add here another term, that is u of n, its step sequence. So this is how the z transform for this term will become 2 raised to n u of n based on the value of a, and this arrangement we can guess it. Similarly, just take the outside 4, multiply it this sequence, so this will become the overall z transform for this term. So the same thing will be applied for the further calculations. Let me just show it. For minus 3 into z by z minus 1, so it will become like this. So since it is causal sequence, so this will be minus 3 into a, so here a is nothing but 1, so 1 raised to n, and may write it like simply 1 only, means only u of n, that is also sufficient. Now the next is this one, z by z minus a bracket square. So here, if you able to recall the things which we have seen earlier, that is the z transform properties, that is n times x of n, similarly a raised to n u of n. If we combine these two, it will give us the flavor that it is nothing but the property where we will get mixture, that is n times a raised to n u n will give the value, that is z transform as a az by z minus a bracket square. So the same thing is applied over here. Let me just show it. Okay, so here actually we are applying it. So here a is nothing but 1, so 1 1, so by application of that property az by z minus 1 square, so a is 1, so n into a raised to 1 a raised to n, so it will be 1 raised to n, so that's why so not written here this 1 raised to n. This is nothing but actually giving the value 1, so no need to write it, we can keep it n into u of n. So this is how this will be nothing but inverse z transform for z by z minus 1 square. So this is all about the partial fraction, a simple way for the repeated poles. Thank you everyone, thank you very much.